Welcome to our podcast, your go to platform for insight into finance careers. And this is a part of our special finance series where we bring industry experts to share their journey, expertise, and career advice for aspiring financial professionals. Today, we have with us a very special guest, CFA Siddharth Jain. He's a CFA charter holder, FMBA designated, and an MBA in finance with 12 plus years of experience in valuation and analysis. He has worked with many top firms like S&P Research and Deep Industries, ENY, and currently he's working as a senior valuation analyst at RKL LLP, specializing again in mergers and acquisition, finance due diligence, and so on. Beyond his corporate role, he is an educator, so teaching financial modeling, business valuation, and many courses in investment banking. He is also an active volunteer with CFA Society India, and recently he launched a book, Business Valuation, a handy guide for beginners and professionals, which has received a great feedback globally. So, welcome, sir, and we are very excited to have you with us today to discuss finance, career, valuation trends, and advice for professionals who are looking to make their mark in the industry. So, welcome, sir, to our podcast.
Yep. Thank you, Padmaja, for the warm introduction, and thank you for this invitation. Glad to be part of this discussion. Thank you.
So, Siddharth, one more thing, like this particular podcast would be watched by many students as well as freshers, beginners, and professionals as well. So, as a point from the point of student, they would like to understand your career journey for their career roadmap because you have worked with some top global firms. And being a fresher, it is always that feelings that how I will reach to that particular stage or role or a company.
Yep.
So whatever role that led you in this particular role as a senior valuation analyst, so please share your journey and
Yep.
along the way, like what career insight and skills you have learned or gained, especially in the field of valuation and analysis. So please elaborate.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, Padmaja. So, in a brief, like after I completed my master's in finance, I joined S&P as a finance analyst, and I worked over there almost 6.5 years. And I associated with a department or team uh, who deals with the US banks and NBFC, getting the reports, doing some analysis, dealing with the global clients. And I when I left the organization, I was working as a senior financial analyst over there. And I started my CFA journey when I was in S&P. I cleared level one when I left. Then I joined a couple of organizations like Indian firms. One is Resurgent India. So I was sitting at a client location, which is in Kandla Port in Gujarat, and another one is the Deep Industries, which is in Ahmedabad. So in both roles, I worked as a managerial loan in finance and look at their project finance, distress projects, and that kind of role. Uh, when I left Deep Industries, till the time I also cleared level two, and after that I joined where I'm working right now, RKL LLP, which is a valued client of Staffing Global. So I directly work with the client, directly with the team in the US, Pennsylvania, and since last 4 years. So I'm working on private company valuation, merger and acquisition, target company valuation, like the company which got acquired. So what's their tangible, intangible asset fair value? So work on that side, equity compensation valuation like ESOPs and option valuation. And at my available capacity, also, I extend my hands to some other teams as well, like transaction advisory team is there in the consulting team who works on buy side, sell side due diligence projects. Right. So this is my career journey so far. And the another response to your question, like what are the skills I developed so far? Uh, yeah, I also wanted to add, like, meanwhile, I was part of my current role. So, in 2021, I also got that designation of FMBA. So I did financial modeling and business valuation course from CFI Canada and received FMBA designation. And in same year, in November 21, I cleared CFA level 3 and got my charter, CFA charter, in December, in Feb 22. So by the time like I what the designation I hold, like certification or education credential, I got while working in the current organization, right? Now coming to the question, like what are the skills that I developed so far? So the main skills required in my role, like someone who want to be working as a valuation analyst or financial analyst, or to be in the core finance jobs, then dealing with numbers, crunching numbers, dealing daily on Excel models, big Excel models, complex valuations, and also uh, on the report side, you have to deal with some of the uh, report side on MS Word, MS PowerPoint. So someone should have the complete knowledge of entire MS Office, because day in day out you have to work on both on Excel on the valuation side, like getting the valuation, and on Word and PowerPoint too, creating a report like whatever the valuation you derived, you also have to submit to the client in the report format, right? So the skills what I develop and someone should look at to develop in them, if someone want to pursue a career in valuation and analysis, like uh, core advanced Excel skill, entire MS Office knowledge you should have. Then deep research you have to do. Sometimes you have to think out of the box. Sometimes the details available to us will not give us the clear picture, so you have to go uh, whatever the things you have to uh, get to get more realistic picture. And also, as I work with the global team, so day in, day out, we have to do some mail and message communication, oral and written communication. So that skill also I developed over the period of time. Like working with the global clients, you should be good at your communication skills. Uh, so that I develop, and someone who want to be a part of this career journey, whether they works for Indian firm or Indian clients or global clients, competition skill, I think is will give you a good edge uh, comparing to the other candidates who applying for the jobs. So yeah, I think this is it.
That's an
Thank you.
incredible journey,
Yeah,
Siddharth. And I'm very happy you share everything because those who are the fresher, they will definitely look forward and see what
yeah,
kind of skills and certification or courses they need to do. So
yeah,
the next question is like you said, you are working with a global team across the world. So
yeah,
you have come across many valuation projects.
yeah,
So how the approach towards this business valuation, if you compare in international market to India? So as
yeah,
per what is your experience in that?
yeah. So I think the valuation concepts or methods and the terminologies that remain same across the world. So there is not a big change if I value any global firm, or maybe suppose a US based firm, UK based firm, or an Indian firm, because part of my work I also got an opportunity. Like I valued some companies which are based in Switzerland or maybe Australia, because any US company, they acquired other region companies. So that I did. And the so in such in terms of valuation, that's not a big difference. But yeah, uh, the people you deal with, that creates a big difference, because to deal with Indian firms and the Indian management, and to handle them comparing to the global client, that creates a different, because the way we communicate with them and the way we communicate with Indian clients and management, that something is different. So that someone has to understand. As I told you in my first question, like communication is always a key role. It will play, like how you ask the question, how they respond. Because in our work, sometimes we do follow-ups with the clients, with the management for some information. If they have some questions on the valuation we did, so how we respond them. So I think the sometimes we have to understand the culture difference, the organization difference. So that we have to tackle very well. But yeah, one thing like when you work with global firms, then sometimes financial reporting might be different, like way they present their balance sheet, income statement, and other financial data than Indian firms based on the accounting. That's not much different, but yeah, some presentation and accounting differences there in India comparing to the global countries. So that difference you have to understand. But over the period of time, with experience, I think you can tackle that thing. But yeah, you have to be ready when you work with the global firms. Sometimes the language side also I can quote well. Like recently, uh, we valued one watch manufacturing company which is in
Right.
Switzerland.
Okay.
So they reported their financials into French language. So
Okay.
that I have to convert. So that also gave me good experience. I learned many
That can
French
be one of
words.
the challenge when
Yeah,
culture, accent, and the way
yeah,
you work and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I agree. So in that, that was sometime like challenging. I have to just find the way. So I kept my Google Translation open, like I keep on translating the word from French to English, like what they mean to say. Something we can understand, but some things we have to just translate. It gave us the opportunity as well, like of how they report, and I also learned couple of French words as well through this engagement. Yeah, but this is that. So both pros and cons are there, whether you work for the global valuation client or Indian
But
clients.
then the exposure is very important, and
Yeah,
everybody have need to have that adaptability whenever you work with the firm, globally.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now
You have,
we are from Pune, and in Pune we see that every day the new startup is coming up.
yeah,
And when you look at their valuation, like because there are not that strong financials there. So
yeah,
like what is your approach when you value, such startups?
yeah. So in the startup valuation, and yeah, I agree with you. Like whether it's in Pune or in entire Maharashtra, I think Maharashtra is along with other key states in India in which a lot of startup activities are going on. New founders and young professionals they start their startup journey. Even I follow Shark Tank very closely, and from in this season I noticed like a lot of people from Pune, Mumbai, or Maharashtra they appeared with their startup ideas to raise funding. So I agree with you on that. Now the coming to your question, like how the startup valuation is different comparing to the mature firms and what should what things we should look at, right? So generally, the main challenge this startup firm, many companies are in the pre-revenue stage. Many companies recently started and they have just 1 to 2 years of history. So to gauge the understanding, like what would be this company in the future in next 5 to 10 years, that's very difficult, right? And to get that, sometimes we cannot rely just on the numbers because we have very limited numbers of data. So we have to take broader industry aspects, like what are the other firms
Right.
in the same products or services available in the market
So the
at what,
competitors you are saying like in the
yeah,
same area.
yeah, in competitors in the same area, though they might be larger in size,
Yeah.
whether it's a private firm, public firm, because they have like a long history. And the startup companies, they just had the 1 to 3 years of history. Sometimes they have pre-revenue, but we can just look based on the business description. Like someone started like a e-commerce company, then we can compare with the other private firms or public firms
Right.
which are into e-commerce, which are selling the same products or services.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, doing the valuation of startups comes up with a different approach comparing to the mature company. Uh, we have to look at founders or management history as well, like how if they have the experience, how well they have the experience in the past, whatever the products or services they are selling, and what are the competition, what is the TAM size, total addressable market, and how big can company be in next 5 to 10 years. So to understand that is required lot of research, a lot of information we have to take from the founders apart from doing the valuation, and then we can conclude something meaningful.
Perfect. I mean, you gave the whole idea how we can approach, the startups valuation.
Yeah,
Similarly, we have private and public companies. So again,
yeah.
I think, is there a challenge when you value the private company compared to public ones?
Yeah, I think the major challenge is to the limited financials available to us.
Okay.
Because for public companies, as you know, like as per the mandate, mandatory regulation from exchange body, like they have to maintain investor relation page on
Okay.
their website,
Hmm.
and they have to upload all their financials and non-financials detail available,
Correct.
because investor invest in their company, right? So someone, suppose if I want to value TCS or maybe Wipro or Tata Motors, then I can just go to their websites and I can go to investor relation page and I'll get all the financials
Hmm.
latest to past financials. But for the private company, there is no mandation, right? So to get their financials, the only source is to get from the client or the company,
Oh,
right? So this is one of the challenge, to we have the limited financials available. Yeah, but how we handle that, like we generally try to get most of the details, required details or financials from the client, though it's not available in public, but they regularly audit their financials or file their tax returns. So we get audited financial or tax return files, or at least balance sheet, income statement, cash flows if they can provide to us. So we get that for the valuation purpose. And to for the valuation, we try to depend mostly on historicals,
oh,
or again, like what I mentioned in the startup, like we have to look at more on the competitor side. What are the other firms in the same area, in the same industry, and we take them as a reference to value along with the company's cash flow. So that is
right. So I
something
think for,
different
for data purpose also you have to work closely with
with the
company
client,
auditors
with
when
the
it comes.
company or client or interest
Yeah.
of client. Yeah,
Perfect, perfect.
yeah,
So next is like equity compensation valuation
yeah.
is like gaining a traction. So what is it like, how it is relevant, and what is your experience or approach towards it?
Yeah. So equity compensation is where sometimes, like as I told you, like I work on target company valuation.
Yeah.
So whenever buyer acquire any company, so they pay them the purchase price.
Hmm.
So they can pay them the purchase price either in form of cash, or there is also another form which is the stock. Buyer company will give their own stocks, like in the form of purchase price.
Okay.
So and they also assigned some value, like suppose they assigned a $1,000 per share. Suppose they issued class A preferred stocks to the seller company
Okay.
for $5 million as a purchase price. Rest they paid in the cash, right? So for this, we have to find like whether the $1,000 they assigned as the price, because this is the private company, so they don't have listed common stocks or preferred stocks. So we have
Understood.
to find their fair value. So for that, we do the valuation. For that, we apply some of the valuation methodology, like option pricing method. We apply. Then there are a couple of methods, and I don't want to go in deep. Yeah, but basically, we apply some of the method like option pricing method, current valuation method, like that. So equity compensation, in short, is ESOP valuation, options valuation, and the example which I gave you, like that is known as the rollover equity. Like when a company gave stocks of their own company in the form of purchase price. And this equity compensation also important. Sometimes startup issue ESOPs to their key management, because for the startup, the main challenge is to get some talented management people on their team, like CTO, CFO, and if they work in any company and getting the tremendous compensation. So to get them to the startup is ESOP or options issuance can be a good tool, and many startups they create a ESOP pool for their key management, and they issue the shares at discount, so that they can redeem in the future. And if this startup they also want to value, like they issued ESOP way before back in 3 years, and what's the fair value of their issued ESOPs or options to their key employees, what's their value right now. So for that also we can find the fair value. So this is the equity compensation we do.
Thank you so much for sharing such incredible insights, into
Thank you.
this. Now, as a fresher or maybe as a professional after 2, 3 years experience, if they get
Yep.
into this particular field, that is a business valuation, they are probably, if start for the start, they're probably going to make few mistakes while
Yeah.
valuing the company, target company. So,
Mm.
what are the common mistakes normally,
Yeah.
the professionals make?
Yeah.
Let's talk
Good
about
question.
that.
Good question. Actually, I can uh, tell with my experience like what the mistakes I was making and how I gradually improved myself and what are the things I'm seeing in other young professionals as well. So as I told you, like valuing a company, doing business valuation is required a lot of attention to the detail, right? We have to look at very small things. Sometimes we make formula error and typo error as well, sometimes that wording mistakes.
Right.
So this actually improves over the period of time. What the improvement I have seen in myself, like when I was working way before 4 years and when I'm working right now. So I before submitting my work to the review, like as a model, what I prepared or report, I do like just go through the details again, whether I missed anything or whether I made any typo error or whether I like have to make any corrections. So that is very important. Like what actually missing in uh, young professional or entry level employees, like they don't want to do like second eye opinion or just go through it again. So I would suggest we have to be very patient with, and because time is important, we have to submit our work in time. But in valuation, accuracy is very important. What I have seen, because if I miss anything and that caught by my reviewer, that is fine. But suppose that is also missed by my reviewer, then the thing will go to the client and auditor, and if they
Right.
catch, then I think it's not going to create a good impression for our client or for our firm. So it's accuracy is the big thing, and they trust on us on that. So we have to be very top of that, and that only I'm focusing. I would not say I 100% improved right now. I keep on learning every day and keep on improving. Like how to not miss little things and to look at the overall picture. Another thing I would suggest like to do more research, deep research,
Okay.
uh, whenever you value any company. So uh, client approaches to get something which they cannot able to see, and we are here to like apply that learning and to give a response to them. So deep research, some valuable research also is very important in valuation, which I think entry level professionals sometime take some time to learn and create this kind of habit.
So to avoid clerical errors, I would say to have an eye for detailing and
Yeah,
research very well. And
yeah,
of course, are there any technical errors? Like technically also sometimes people go wrong.
yeah. Sometimes they make some formula error in the Excel,
Okay.
the
Okay.
numbers like any summing error, any formula error they make in the wordings as well. Like suppose something you corrected in your valuation model, but you missed to rectify in your valuation report,
Right.
right? So both things, because we generally submit the report to the client, not model. Model we do for the calculation purpose. But suppose you tackle the error, you corrected it in the model, but you wish to do that in the report. Because I face this all these things and I try to improve myself. So yeah, this some of the little bit technical errors and sometimes the language error as well. Like as we work for the global client, we generally think in Indian language, then translate into the grammar, and then we. But sometimes, like what we want to communicate when we work in the US firms or US clients, so their wordings, their
Difference
grammars.
in the technical terms also in other countries. Like
Uh, yeah,
like in
sometimes
asset
like
under asset bifurcation, if we have certain things. So do they say it differently or term they use differently? Does it happen?
uh, not exactly, but yeah, sometimes it may happen. Here we say as a inventory, right? But they may use the word as a stock in hand. But if someone has experience, like they worked on uh, many years, then they know that like this term maybe as an inventory. So this wording difference maybe there we cannot tell it as a technical error.
Correct.
But if we miss to understand this, then we may make any technical error. If someone not understand and they consider this in other assets instead of inventory, then indirectly it may be the technical
Sounds interesting.
error.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, can you share any interesting case or a complex evaluation project on which
Okay.
you worked on?
Yeah. I
Maybe
think.
a very brief, like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
case.
Yeah. Actually, currently, I can quote two examples. Recently, I worked on one private company valuation that is for estate planning purpose. Like owners is passed away, and uh,
Okay.
as per the another owner, he wanted to do the he holds some shares. The owner who passed away, so they want to transfer some of the shares from to another owner. So they have to do estate planning. They have to pay some taxes as well when they do the ownership transfer. So for that, they did the earlier valuation, and they when they approach us, they responded like. By mistake they assigned some higher valuation and they pay higher tax. Now they want to do the revaluation again so that the tax liability would be reduced. But yeah, company tried to sell owner tried to sell the company two times, but he failed to close the transactions. Very high debt company. So that was something complex valuation. We back and forth happened many times with me and my reviewer. Uh, and But I learned a lot from that valuation engagement. Like this time I discovered like sometimes we when we use two different valuation methodologies, which is going in two different direction. Like when we look at the historicals, that was not that great, but companies' projections were too aggressive,
Okay.
optimistic. So how to handle, and for that we applied two different valuation methods, giving us two different results. So ultimately, my reviewer he tried to understand me when we this kind of situation we have to apply two different discount rate, two different risk for historical lower risk for projection high risk, so that we can go ahead to tackle this kind of situation. So that was something complex, yeah, but good learning experience. That was the recent one I would say. One more project which
That reminded me of Shark Tank business valuation because sometimes the way they value their company and people.
yeah.
So
Yeah, historicals they are negative EBITDA, but the valuation they ask is like not make any kind of sense. So that happens.
yes, yes.
uh, yeah, and one more example quickly, I just wanted to cover
Yeah,
over here.
sure, sir.
My one recent valuation. I We received some information, but I have not actually in depth started the valuation. But yeah, it is a multi-billion-dollar deal, around $1.7 billion. It's a private company, and company got acquired by another private equity firm. And the company which got acquired, it actually did more than 50 acquisitions in last 3 years. Lot of company they acquired. So it is in insurance industry, did lot of acquisitions. So
Oh.
they have lot of trade names and technology
Mm.
intangibles on their books. Now, when new company acquired, then we have to value this all intangibles again. So they have 5 to 6 trade names, 5 to 6 in technology valuation we have to do. So that is something I think the big and complex valuation is there on my pipeline, and I'm ready for that. So let's see how it
Shared
goes.
this because there is no formula for any company. I mean, the scenarios and situation you are
It's
getting in,
different.
every time they are
It's
different and
different.
you
Yeah,
have to change the approach.
it's like a human psychology. Like person to person, it's change. Then company's
Right.
valuation from one company to another company, mostly in the private companies, change.
Yes, yes. Amazing. So
Yeah,
you recently launched a book like on business valuation, a
yeah,
handy guide for beginners and professionals. So what inspired you to write a book
yeah.
and how you simplified this complex concept for beginners in this book?
Yeah. So first of all, the reason to launch my book, like it's a self-published book. I published by myself on Amazon Kindle Direct publishing platform, and then I associated with one publisher in India to just sell the print books. Otherwise, e-books you can directly. buy or read from Amazon ebook platform, right?
Good.
And I launch in India as well as other 11 countries. Yeah, and receive good response.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very nice.
First time experience, so was little bit nervous, not knowing many things, learned a lot of things, how to write, how to rectify the details, how to add some images, this and that. So good experience, I would say.
It's itself
But
is a learning journey for you, like
yeah, it
how to
was a good
start
learning.
and what to add, what not
Yeah,
to do.
even it's been, I think it's going to be 2 years in this March 25 since I launched my first book. But even though today I regularly check like how many orders placed and who bought my book in this
Good.
month, and also check on LinkedIn or Amazon the feedbacks if they posted anything
So how
because it's
beginners find it? Business.
so the reason, the question now coming to a question like the reason, what motivated me. So when uh, since I'm into valuation from last 4 years, I did CFA. So many people approach me like young professionals, graduates, masters, those who want to build a career in valuation. They send a message and invite on LinkedIn like uh, we also want to build a career like what you did, how we can start, how we can do. We did this course, but still we are struggling to do the building the financial model, valuing any company. So I find a gap like whatever they get the education through masters or sometime through other courses, but they could not able to deliver the results. To bridge this gap, and there are many books available in the market, uh, I would say, but lot of books on business valuation which is available in the market, they come up with some deep concepts. So they available who is someone like suppose like me who already knows about the subject and want to upskill themselves. But something I find very few books available in the market who simplify the concept from the basics. What is business valuation? What are the some of the valuation methodologies? So to cover that gap, I thought let's try something, and I tried to put it out over there. And I most of the examples which I quoted in the books that based on whatever I learned so far in my last 4 to 5 years in my valuation
Great.
journey.
Great.
So that is the thing. So someone who just want to know, like as a beginner, how beginners can find the value in this book. So someone who want to learn what is the simple understanding business valuation, why people do business valuation, and how to do business valuation. If someone want to learn this basic concept, I think the book can meet the requirement, I would say.
So you built it from the scratch in layman's language, I must say. I mean, anybody who is
Yeah, anyone. Yeah, even if you read that book, then you will understand what is business
you
valuation
are now
because the
inspiring me to buy the book, and I'll definitely buy it.
yeah, and I would love that, and I would love to hear your feedback after that as well.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah.
And how it is received by the young professionals or the students?
Yeah, I think the response so far is good. They responded like they got a lot of understanding, like what is business solution. A lot of myths, like something is very complex, something is very hard to understand. It is not like that because it is like when you start walking, you have to just put in little steps, right? You cannot start running on the first day when you learn walking. It's like that. It's a journey. Not expect like there is any shortcuts to learn anything because it's a profession. You have to learn by experience. So the response I received so far, like they got good basic understanding, and they will apply this learning in their future career prospect as well.
Wow, great, sir. Great. Amazing.
Thank
So you are also being an educator
you. Yeah,
and you're teaching financial modeling, business valuation,
yeah,
and CFA aspirants,
yeah,
even CAs professionals.
yeah,
So, like, how is the journey like, and
yeah.
how you like it?
Yeah. So yeah, I associated with a couple of organizations who provide online education to these young students or professionals. Some are graduates, some are masters, some are doing CA, CFA, some are already working, but they want to change their career. They want to switch into finance. Like suppose someone is into accounting auditing, want to switch into investment banking or into valuations, into research. So I teach them, uh, and generally on weekends I spend some time, maybe 2 to 4 hours, and I basically tackle the valuation sessions, valuations, and case studies. Uh, and recently, also we started AI in finance
Okay.
sessions as well. So I also educate them or try to tell them like what are
Are
some of
these
the AI.
online courses or offline? Like,
These are online courses.
good.
It's available on like MS Teams,
Hmm.
2 hour session every weekend.
Hmm.
I do that. Some many times also I visited as a visiting faculty in a couple of MBA colleges
Good.
and as in a CFA coaching center as well for this valuation sessions. But yeah, from last 1.5 years, mostly I did online education.
Okay,
That
great,
yeah,
great, sir.
yeah,
Sir, now little bit about CFA. I want to ask you because the way the curriculum have been evolving and the exams are getting tougher because
yeah.
even the last results were not so good. In
Okay,
my connect, those who were doing CFA, they
okay,
were telling me. So,
yeah,
like, I just want to know, like, what is the relevance of these kind of exam like CFA, FMBA, in acquiring good positions or good roles, in finance sector?
yeah,
And overall, like for CFA, what kind of preparation that is needed for, students
yeah. A
needed by
good question. Yeah, good question. And I can totally relate to that. Many people wanted to do CFA or maybe FMB. FMBA is not that difficult
Hmm.
because I remember I prepared just for 1.5 months and I
Okay.
cleared the exam. It's a 3 hours exam, and if you scored 75%, you can just get the certification. But CFA is a totally a different thing. It's a three-level exam, and level one start with the basic, then level two, lot of valuation concept would be there, equity valuation, fixed income valuation, derivative valuation, and commodity valuation. Level three is or totally on portfolio management side. Yeah, so someone who want to get this certification or credential as a CFA charter holder, then someone should have to be keep themselves as a long-term time allocation you have to do like 2 to 3 years earlier when we were doing that time level one you can give 2 times in a year, but level two, level three just 1 time in a year. And and when I was preparing that time, COVID also hit. So it took me long time. I think 4.5 years journey was there at that time. But right now, I think CFA Institute bring a tremendous reforms in the exam patterns and the exam schedule. Now level one you can give 4 times in a year. Level two, level three you can give 2 times in a year. So someone who starts today and want to finish if he clears every level in first attempt, then someone can clear all 3 levels in 1.5 or 2 years.
Okay.
So in terms of timing, someone can clear everything sooner comparing to earlier what we were preparing. Yeah, and coming to a question like the course or curriculum is getting tougher because they also introduce financial modeling, AI in finance, fintech, lot of new things in the curriculum is added. So someone has to be updated, has to keep themselves updating with the recent what is going on in the market in terms of economics, in terms of industries, because this is the global certification. It is one of the highly credentialed certification in the world, CFA. So to get it, I think you have to do a lot of hard work and have to
Correct.
be how to prepare yourself. Like you have to look at 2 to 3 years time and to better prepare yourself. Suppose you are a student, then it's you have a good time. You can also do coachings as well, online offline coaching. A lot of options are available in
Correct.
India as well as in globally. But suppose you are a working professional, then sometimes meeting the time for the preparation is challenging because I did while working, so it's not that easy, I would say. So you have to be uh, very top up in your game. Uh, have to allocate your time very wisely, whether it's weekends or weekdays. Uh, you just have to be on it until you meet your goal. So that's only my advice.
So one really need a long commitment and
Yeah,
working hard for it if you really
because
want to nail it.
yeah, because I have seen some many people just drop it after level one, level two,
Mhm.
because they find it very difficult to uh, crack a couple of exams. Like suppose they failed one time, two time, then they leave it. Sometimes they feel like it's not adding the value to their work, so they leave it.
Correct.
But I think when you start, and that's only I advise to the people, if you think this is going to add value to your career and to your life, then only you go ahead, because it's a long term commitment. So go ahead with that, because getting this three letters after your name, it's
Yes.
obviously going to
It's a
create the
lot of
value.
reference to your profile, right?
Yeah, but to get that, I think the commitment is a good thing. You have to get it.
So now you just spoke about AI,
Yeah,
and since last year or maybe 1.5 year, we know that AI is going to come in each and every industry.
yeah.
And so, what about business valuation? So, how you look at it, how it's been going to evolve or it's been evolving due to AI and automation, and what are the some emerging trends that we see now in M&A and overall valuation, business valuation?
Yeah. Yeah, good point. I would say like AI is transforming every area, the world, whether it's marketing,
And would it affect
finance.
the job market as well? I mean, that is.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Even I can quote like recently in last week, I attended one webinar along with my other US colleagues. It is harnessing AI into the business valuation practice.
Correct.
So the organizer or the person who conducted the webinar, he outlined like what are the areas in the valuation
Hmm.
in which we can use AI, like mainly the Chat GPT, Cloudy, Perplexity, or maybe other AI platforms like Gemini, Meta, or something. So he highlighted like in our work, we can use AI more in doing the deep research uh, to get some complex valuation scenarios, doing the sensitivity analysis. So we can take help of these AI tools,
Correct.
though the end judgment or final call would be on us, because that is something like in our work actually we cannot automate everything. Human judgment, human touch is required.
You
uh,
mentioned this because in many areas of finance now AI is replacing. So
yeah,
I think this is one of the very good point that.
yeah, so we can we can take help of AI to reduce our task,
Yeah,
reduce the time we allocate to particular task, and to mitigate some human errors. But yeah, final judgment, final call, uh, human intervention is obviously required. Yeah, but use it in a way like you can bring more accuracy, and you can do something in very less time, right? Because I am very keen into this subject. Even in my company, from last 2 years since the Chat GPT launch, I keep on looking at the ways, the things uh, where AI can affect in my work. So I keep on suggesting to my company, to my client as well, like this new tool came out. I use this tool and find this useful.
okay.
Something online PDF reader, PDF summarizer. So because there are many tools available, so how it can relate to our work. So I keep on communicating them. And recently also they gave me the ChatGPT license version to do more research, more complex valuation work if it required, because you cannot do everything with the basic version. Sometimes in the license version there are many models, ChatGPT 4, uh, that O1 model, O3 model to do deep research. And I think before 2 days they also announced ChatGPT 4.5, which OpenAI is claiming like it is one of their best model for the chat response yet. So
Correct.
a lot of things are changing, and we have to be aware of that, have to use in our favor, because in valuation accounting there are two terms. Like one is in you can be in asset or you
Okay.
can be in liabilities. So if you want to be an asset in your company, in your career, so learn this tool, learn these things, how it can impact and how can you add value to the client and your company. Uh, Otherwise, you will be in liability if you don't want to change and want to sit in your comfort zone. So that's
When
only,
you keep learning, you keep growing, and that is the key.
yeah, that is the case. Yeah. So many people like the related question, like many people think like, will I lose my job due to the AI revolution or some of the
Yes.
advancement?
Yes.
You may, if you don't grow and learn, but you definitely not if you learn and overcome this challenge. And if you use AI uh, as an advantage, not as a risk. How
Hmm.
you can use as an advantage? When you use most of it, when you get most of these AI tools in your work. So that is only my advice. That is only I'm applying. I'm trying to apply in my work.
Nice. I mean, incredible. I mean, this is going to happen and we have to, face it. Very
Yeah.
nice. So how do you stay updated? Like you have mentioned some of the chat GPT things and all, but like what other resources are there where you
Yeah.
can keep yourself updated and any name couple of books also like apart
Yeah.
from yours, like which every financial professional should read. That's what
Yeah.
according to you.
Yeah. So for the valuation side, so I will break this question into two parts, like how I keep updated myself for the valuation and for the AI related, right? So for the valuation, I keep on uh, attending a lot of webinars, a lot of conferences, and also reading a lot of articles, right? As I told you, like I'm part of a CFA Society in India as a volunteer. So I keep on uh, attending whatever the webinars or conferences possible from myself, even through my clients, through my company. I also attend many webinars, what's going in the market, if any new updates came in the valuation methods, in the way we are valuing something. So that is one thing. If someone want to update themselves, like keep on looking at the resource, because now we are in the world, there are a lot of resources available, a lot of things available, right? So try to make most of it. I am trying that. Couple of books I would recommend in the valuation. So there is a couple of books written by Aswath Damodran on the business valuation side, in the investment uh, of the company and valuation. So he is one of the prominent name in the valuation the world. Couple of books also. One is in valuation of the company, authored by McKinsey and Company. So that is also one of the book I would recommend. This is about the valuation. If someone is interested in finance and money managing, then a couple of more recommendation is The Joys of Compounding, written by Gautam Ved. That is also one of the good book I recently read. Then Psychology of Money, that is also one of the good books. If someone is interested in finance. On AI side, I keep updated myself. Like I have lot of subscription. I just whenever I find any free newsletter subscription, then I just write my email and keep on uh, update. Then I keep on getting recent regular emails. Like one is the Superhuman. That is one of the good newsletter, which I think I subscribe to for more than 2 years, and daily. And I think every other 2 day I receive a mail from them regarding what's happening in AI in our all around the world. What is the recent updates? What is the recent funding, recent round someone closed, any recent model came up, like the news which I read on ChatGPT 4.5 came out. I read on a Superhuman newsletter only.
Wow.
So that is something, yeah, someone can do. Subscribe to free newsletters. It's not going to cost you anything, but you will get a lot of information. And they also tell, like in their most of the newsletter, they gave five tools, AI tools, which can boost your productivity. Sometimes it's related to finance, sometimes it's related to valuation, coding, and something. But they gave up some of the tools available in the market which
Right.
can improve our productivity. So I keep on testing. Not all are useful, but maybe one out of 10 or 20 might be useful. And I keep on suggesting to my teams as well whenever I find any good tool. So
Okay.
this thing I do, and I only advise to others as well.
So nowadays, sir, what is happening is many people are getting attracted to the finance field. Like
Hmm.
uh, before, it used to happen that only commerce students or
Yeah.
CAs, they used to
Yeah.
get into finance. But now
Yeah.
you will see with introduction of Python, or all the engineers, even whether they are mechanical engineers or even computer
Yeah.
engineers, now they are getting into this finance field.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, and of course, there are many fields also in finance itself. People go into credit analysis, there is investment banking, there is equity research, valuation. So like how to approach or how to decide on which career they should go for, or what whether they require different skills, or it depending upon the job roles in which they are, getting the jobs. So what is your take on this? Like how you look at all this thing?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like this is the current scenario, I would say, because when I interact or uh, getting details from the candidates who enroll for financial modeling and valuation course, for investment banking, for those who are pursuing CFAs, not all are from commerce and finance background. Some are engineers, some are completely different background. I recently have seen like someone is a lawyer, did LLB, now want to go into finance. So totally different field, right? Someone is into auditing. Auditing and accounting, we can understand it's on the commerce side, but someone is totally in a different field and want to build a career in finance and valuation. And uh, this is going to evolve, I would say, because finance and valuation is a very attractive profession because uh, it's related to stock market, mutual funds, investment, portfolio management. So people also get interested if they are investing because the people investing, whether they are engineers, doctors, or lawyers, so they want to understand how I, if I want to build a career into this field, what are the skills I needed, and definitely this is going to change, right? And this is changing. So my key takeaway is like nothing is wrong. You can switch the careers. I have seen many people switch their careers 360-degree. Someone is doing before 10 years and now doing something else, right? But yeah, understand what are the core skills required in finance and valuation, as I told you, like timeliness, accuracy, doing basic and deep research, and that is very important, and it will not come all together. It will take time. So you have to be patient with yourself because you are someone who is from different background. So you have to understand some little bit accounting as well, because finance is not go alone. It comes with some of the basic accounting principles, uh, whether it's related to balance sheet, income statement, cash flow. So you have to understand basic things. Uh, because earlier what happened, like engineer plus MBA was the common combo.
Yeah.
It's now as well. Before you look at 10, 20 years, someone did engineering, people have to pursue MBA, and they try to pursue MBA in finance mostly. So because it's a good combo, someone want to build a career in an engineering company but also seeking any management role. So engineer plus MBA is a good combo, right? But nowadays people also do engineer plus CFA, engineering plus any financial modeling, business valuation course, or maybe working as a credit research or into risk management side in the bank, right? So and that is going to evolve, I would say. And but if someone want to go ahead in this career path, be ready for long-term commitment and learning from basic to advanced, I would say.
Incredible answer, sir. And I think that that was an incredibly insightful conversation with you.
Yeah.
And from your journey, finance and valuation, and the key skills which are needed for aspiring professional, we have covered everything. And I think there are so many valuables, to take away from today's discussion, like how private company valuations differ, or what is the role of different certifications like
Mm.
FMBA or CFA course, or emerging trend in business and valuation. So a huge thank you to you, Siddharth, for sharing your expertise, experiences, and practical advice with us. Your insights into merger and acquisitions, private company valuations, and financial modeling were truly eye-opening, and I am sure our listeners have gained a lot from this discussion. And if you all like to connect with Siddharth or learn more about his work, you can find him on LinkedIn.
Mm.
And if you have any questions or thoughts about today's episode, feel free to drop them, in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more episodes in our finance career series, where we bring industry leaders to guide you on professional journey. So, Siddharth, once again, thanks to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Padmaja, and thank you for inviting me. And thank you for this very insightful and wonderful conversation. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.